Late one night, in the silent corridors of an empty cinema, something unsettling was captured on CCTV. The footage starts off unremarkably, a quiet hallway, dimly lit and devoid of any movement. But then, something strange happens. Take a look. At the far end of the corridor, a white, shadowy figure suddenly appears. At first, it's just a faint silhouette, barely noticeable. But within moments, it becomes clearer. A human-like shape entirely draped in white cloth. The figure stands motionless, almost as if aware of being watched. What's even more eerie is how it moves. Instead of walking, the figure seems to float above the ground, its feet never touching the floor. It glides silently down the hallway before disappearing just as abruptly as it appeared. This mysterious apparition has left viewers worldwide puzzled and uneasy. Many speculate that it resembles a Pocong, a ghost from Indonesian and Malaysian folklore. But what exactly is a Pocong? In local legends, a Pocong is believed to be the restless soul of a deceased person trapped in its burial shroud. According to tradition, the body is wrapped tightly in white cloth, with knots tied over the head, under the feet, and around the neck. If these bindings aren't released after 40 days, the soul becomes trapped between worlds, unable to move on. The Pocong then appears to the living, still bound in its shroud, often floating or hopping because its feet are tied together. So, could this eerie figure be a Pocong seeking release? Or is there a more rational explanation? A prankster in a costume, perhaps, or a trick of the light? We'll let you be the judge. One thing's for sure, this chilling footage adds another layer of mystery to the unexplained happenings that continue to intrigue us all. Our next story takes us to the ancient ruins of Hampi in India. After spending a day exploring the historic site, an Indian video blogger and his wife found themselves caught in the evening rains brought on by the pre-showers of a cyclone. Delayed and drenched, they began their 20-kilometer journey back to their resort under the cloak of night. Navigating the dark roads, they accidentally missed a turn and got lost. The deeper they ventured, the more isolated they became. No signs of life, no lights, and no mobile network. The couple grew increasingly anxious, realizing that if anything went wrong, they'd be stranded until morning without any resources. That's when things took a chilling turn. Suddenly, they spotted a woman-like figure in her late 30s walking along the side of the road. She was dressed as a bride, with scattered hair adorned with a gajra, a traditional flower garland. Given that there were no villages nearby, and it was already 10 p.m., the sight was both unexpected and unnerving. His wife, riding pillion, turned back to get a better look and switched on the flashlight. But the woman had vanished. There was no one there. Heart pounding, they sped up, desperate to put distance between themselves and whatever, or whoever, they had just seen. He tried to stay calm for his wife's sake, but the fear was palpable. Was it a ghostly apparition wandering the deserted road, or just a mysterious stranger who disappeared into the night? Imagine exploring an abandoned jail, its dark corridors echoing with whispers of the past. That's what YouTuber Jonkit and his friends set out to do. With access granted by a family connection, they planned to spend 6 hours inside the old county jail. Not to hunt ghosts, but to film a parody of a popular ghost hunting show. They were just teenagers looking for a bit of fun. Armed with a camera, they roamed the eerie halls, laughing and joking, never expecting to encounter anything out of the ordinary. As Jonkit walks down a dimly lit corridor, the camera close to his face, he passes by a locked holding cell without a second glance. The cells were being used for storage and remained securely locked. It wasn't until later, during the editing process, that they noticed something chilling. Jonkit's little brother spotted it first. Take a look.
All right, so we're in the phase of the investigation now where everybody breaks off in their own little areas with, a handy cam, and we're just sort of checking around to see if we can find anything on our own. And hopefully, each one of us finds our own evidence, our own personal stories.
A face peering out from the window of the locked cell. They paused the footage and zoomed in. There, unmistakably, was the haunting image of a man's face staring directly at the camera. The features were disturbingly clear, The pronounced forehead, hollow eyes, and a head tilted slightly as if scrutinizing the intruders. His mouth was a thin, emotionless line. What's more unsettling is how the face appears and then fades away just as Jonkit passes by, almost as if it knew it had been seen. They were stunned. Only 3 people were present during the filming: Jonkit and his 2 friends, who were behind the camera at the time. The holding cells were locked, and no one else was inside the building. So, who was the figure in the window? What began as a lighthearted parody had turned into a real-life nightmare. The haunting face seemed to suggest that perhaps they weren't as alone as they thought in that old jail. What do you think? Was this a restless spirit of a former inmate, still lingering behind bars? A trick of the light? Or perhaps something even more inexplicable? Imagine looking out your window late at night and seeing a stranger staring back at you, motionless and unblinking. This unsettling scenario became a reality for one man who decided to document his experience. He first noticed the figure standing outside his home, gazing up at his window for over half an hour. Concerned and unnerved, he called 911 to report the incident. In the first video, we hear the man's anxious call to emergency services.
Hi, yeah, there's this guy just like standing outside my window, and he's just like looking up at the window. He's been there for about 30 minutes now, and he's male, maybe about, I don't know, maybe about 30, I guess. I can't tell. Yeah. It's an alley. My address is street. Yeah. Yeah, and he's just, he's been there for like 30 minutes and I don't know what to do. Yeah, so if you head down alley, right off of, you should be able to run right into him. I mean, he's basically right in the middle of the road. Yeah. Okay.
Despite his call, the police did not arrive promptly, and the figure continued to stand outside, unwavering. While waiting for the police, the man's unease grew with each passing moment. He decided to better explain the situation by recording what was happening, hoping it would serve as evidence for the authorities.
It's 2:49 a.m. and this guy's been out here for like an hour now, and the cops still haven't showed up. So I just called again. So I guess we'll wait and see if they show this time. In the meantime, I'm gonna film it to keep this as a record of what's been going on. So this guy's been out here for the past 3 nights now, and it's like I kind of didn't really pay that much attention to him before, because sometimes people go back there like to talk on their phone or like smoke a cigarette, I guess, late at night. But this guy's just been out there staring, and I didn't really pay much mind until I noticed that he was in the same area every night, and he was not moving, just staring at our window, and I could see him when I'm on my computer. So yeah, I'm gonna record this and keep a record as, I guess, video evidence, because cops never showed up, and this is getting really unsettling. So, yeah.
In the second video, he documents his ongoing ordeal. As he speaks, the camera continues to capture the eerie scene outside. If you watch closely, you can notice a subtle yet chilling detail. The stalker slightly moves, shifting his body to the side. This small movement is easy to miss and goes unnoticed by the homeowner as he records. The man's fear is palpable as he documents this eerie experience. A stranger standing motionless outside your home night after night is enough to unsettle anyone. Despite multiple calls to the authorities, help didn't arrive in time to confront the mysterious figure. This case leaves us with many questions. Who was this person? What were their intentions? And why did they choose this specific house to watch? As we delve deeper into these unsettling encounters, we're reminded that sometimes the scariest things aren't paranormal, but are the inexplicable actions of other people. Do you have a video or photo with a paranormal or scary story? Send it to spookypooky737@gmail.com. Who knows, your story might appear in the next video. Thanks. Imagine receiving a photo from your landlord, intending to showcase the new windows just installed in your home. But instead of admiring the updates, you're confronted with something chilling, a mysterious figure in the window that shouldn't be there. This is exactly what happened to a woman who shared her unnerving experience.
So my landlord sends me this picture because she's trying to take pictures of the new windows that got replaced. And she says, WTF is in the left window next to the chimney. I don't own any dolls. I have a cat, but it's a kitten. I try to recreate it to see if I can somehow make myself feel better. There's scratches on the windowsill for some reason. I'm in the same spot that she was when she took the picture, and I can't figure it out. I hate dolls. I don't own them. I'm terrified. I live by myself, and I don't know what to do.
Perplexed and frightened, she tried to recreate the photo. The reflection resembled a doll, a haunting image, especially for someone who doesn't own any dolls and admits. Despite her efforts, she couldn't explain the eerie figure or the mysterious scratches on the windowsill. Was it a trick of the light, a glitch in the camera, or something more sinister lurking in her home? What do you think? Is this a case of pareidolia, where our minds see familiar patterns in random images? Or could there be a more unsettling explanation?